God is exposing them. The Bible speaks of enemies, reminding us that not everyone will like us or be on our side. We must not be naive and assume that everyone loves us or supports us. The Word of God does not shy away from the realities of enemies. In Matthew chapter 10, verse 22, Jesus warns his disciples, "You will be hated by everyone because of me." Similarly, in John chapter 15, verse 18, Jesus states, "If the world hates you, keep in mind that it hated me first." These verses make it clear that as Christians, we should not be surprised when we encounter opposition, hatred, or despise from others, even when there seems to be no logical reason for it. Even unbelievers will experience enemies in their lives because this is the nature of the world we live in. However, as Christians, we not only experience enemies as a byproduct of life in this world, but we also face enemies because of our faith in Jesus Christ. Some people will hate you when they have no reason to hate you, and others will despise you for no reason at all. The Bible speaks of enemies, and as a Christian, do not be naive and think that everyone likes you or is on your side. The truth is that in your life, you will have enemies. We live in an imperfect world, so do not be naive and think that everyone loves you. Do not be naive. Too many Christians are naive, but the Word of God teaches us not to be naive. Now, today, I want to show you what God will do for you in presence of your enemies. Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Quote, "In the presence of my enemies," is a profound statement that captures the remarkable juxtaposition of goodness and care in the midst of adversity. This concept, highlighted in Psalm 23, verse 5, reveals the unwavering love and protection of God for his people. Despite the presence of enemies, God's provision and abundant blessings remain steadfast. Through the example of David, we learned valuable lessons about complete reliance on God, unwavering trust, and the assurance that he will meet all our needs. No one can stop God from blessing you. It is a powerful truth that we must firmly grasp and hold on to. God's blessings are not dependent on the opinions or actions of others. He is the sovereign ruler of the universe, and his plans and purposes cannot be thwarted by human opposition or negativity. God is not bound by human limitations. He does not need anyone's permission to pour out his blessings upon you. People may try to hinder, criticize, or even hate you, but their actions and opinions do not hold sway over God's ability to bless you. He is not subject to the whims and desires of humanity. Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad we serve a God that is able to bless you in the very presence of your enemies? Aren't you glad? Aren't you glad that we serve a God who is not influenced by human beings? Just imagine if God's forgiveness was contingent upon the forgiveness of others. Imagine if his mercy was only extended to us if others showed us mercy. Romans chapter 9, verse 15. I will have mercy on whom I have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I have compassion. The image of a prepared table in the presence of enemies signifies the coexistence of God's care and the challenges we face. It is a powerful reminder that the presence of enemies does not diminish the host's concern, but rather enhances the experience of God's goodness and abundance. Just as David found himself surrounded by adversaries, we too may encounter opposition in various forms. Yet in the midst of it all, God's unwavering care and provision remains constant. David's life serves as a profound example of complete reliance on God. Despite being pursued by enemies and facing imminent danger, David constantly placed his trust in the Lord. He understood that his strength and security came from God alone. This reliance allowed David to experience God's presence and blessings even in the most challenging circumstances. As we follow David's example, we can find solace in knowing that our trust in God enables us to overcome the obstacles we face. David recognized his privileged position as God's guest. This understanding allowed him to approach God with humility, reverence, and a deep sense of gratitude. As guests in God's kingdom, we too are honored and privileged to experience His abundant blessings and protection. It is through this honored position that we can find comfort and assurance, even when enemies surround us. God's love for His children is unwavering, and He is always ready to provide for our needs. In the presence of enemies, God offers us a profound sense of security. Just as David found refuge in the shelter of God's wings, we can rest assured that His protection surrounds us. Our adversaries may be strong, but the Lord's strength is infinitely greater. With Him as our shield and fortress, we need not fear those who oppose us. We can face the challenges head-on, knowing that God's unwavering presence and protection will guide us through. With a deep understanding of God's faithfulness and provision, we can confidently place our trust in Him. In times of trial and uncertainty, just as David did, we must maintain unwavering trust and complete dependence on God. His promises and provisions remain steadfast, irrespective of our circumstances. We can find solace in knowing that God is with us, guiding and sustaining us through every challenge we encounter. Quote, "In the presence of my enemies," serves as a powerful reminder of the goodness and care of our gracious God. David's experience teaches us to trust in God completely. Even when faced with opposition, we can find comfort and assurance in knowing that God is our faithful protector and provider. As we navigate life's challenges, let us remember that our trust in God enables us to experience His goodness and abundance, even in the presence of enemies. May we find strength, peace, and unwavering faith as we place our complete reliance on Him. Although David had enemies, he ended Psalm 23 stating that, "I dwell in the house of the Lord forever." Isn't that wonderful? The declaration of dwelling in the house of the Lord forever is a powerful testament to David's unwavering trust in God's faithfulness and his eternal hope in the Lord's promises. It signifies David's assurance of his eternal destiny and his unshakable confidence in God's provision and protection. Though he faced enemies in his earthly life, David knew that his true home was with the Lord, both in this life and in the life to come. It is awe-inspiring to witness David's unwavering faith and resolute commitment to his shepherd. His enemies could not deter him from his heavenly destination because he understood the significance of having a right relationship with God. David's deep and intimate connection with his shepherd provided him with the strength and assurance to overcome the obstacles and challenges he faced. The key to David's unwavering faith and his assurance of dwelling in the house of the Lord forever lies in his intimate relationship with God. He knew the Lord as his shepherd, the one who led him, provided for him, and protected him. David recognized that it was through this relationship that he found his true identity and security. In the same way, as believers, we too are called to cultivate a deep and personal relationship with our shepherd, Jesus Christ. Our ultimate hope and security lie in Him, regardless of the presence of enemies or trials in our lives. When we place our trust in Him, our eternal destiny is secure, and we can confidently declare, like David, that we dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Furthermore, David's proclamation serves as a reminder that our earthly circumstances and challenges do not define our eternal destiny. The enemies we encounter in life may attempt to discourage us, harm us, or even lead us astray, but they cannot thwart God's plan for our lives. Our ultimate victory and eternal dwelling place are found in our relationship with the Lord. Even in the face of adversity, we are called to hold fast to our faith and trust in the Lord's goodness and faithfulness. The presence of enemies should not discourage us or cause us to lose hope. Instead, it should propel us to draw closer to our shepherd and seek his guidance and protection. As we reflect on David's words in Psalm 23, let us be encouraged to cultivate a deep and intimate relationship with our shepherd. May we trust in his unfailing love and grace, knowing that he will guide us, provide for us, and lead us to our eternal dwelling place with him. No matter the enemies we encounter in life, we can rest assured that our ultimate home is in the house of the Lord forever.